In the words of the legendary Lou Gellerman, hello, dog fans, and welcome to the Sound the Siren podcast because everything matters. I am not your normal host, Hooligan7. This is JCap, joined tonight by Big Hood and the Darker Knight. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well.
Doing amazing, man. Doing phenomenal, bro.
Good,
Yes,
good.
sir.
Yeah, we were supposed to have a special guest from the delegation from Michigan, but he decided to back out a little bit.
Be nice,
But
be nice.
we
Little
might
eight,
we
little
might talk to him next week. We might talk to him next week on a little recap.
Smart man. Smart
Little
man.
recap.
eight.
But anyway, first up, beverages. Boys, what you drinking tonight?
So it was a very long weekend for me. Very long week for me. So I might be on the water for a couple months at this point. So I got the smart water because I'm making smart decisions. You know what I mean?
I feel that. I feel that. I'm also on smart water, so word.
Hey,
Come on,
we
Twin and
ain't
them.
dumb around here. We ain't dumb.
We ain't done one. Come on, Twin and
Man,
them.
same thing. I'm trying to recover right now, so I got me some green tea in one cup, and on
Come
the other
on,
I got me some body armor rapid rehydration. We trying
come
to
on.
get right.
There you go. There you
Yes,
go.
sir.
I'm not gonna front and pretend like I know how to run this whole show and do the Husky Couture thing. So we're gonna let that ride to next week. Sorry, hooligan. Um, but
Let
I
it
guess
ride.
without further ado, let's jump into Rutgers. What did y'all all like to see or like seeing in that game, and then um, things we want to see moving forward?
Yeah, first, just with the atmosphere, I was pleasantly surprised to see as many dog fans come out and support. Everyone got the memo to dress all black, if not black and purple, and I didn't see anybody any bright colors, which is nice. Secondly, I just think I mean, as a team, like just kind of started slow. Offensively, it was just tough for Jed to really get them on in rhythm just with some of the passes. He just went really pass heavy to start. And then it was weird because Damon's first carry went for 40 plus yards. And then he just went pass heavy. And then we ended up, instead of what would have been walking down the field to score a touchdown, ended up not doing anything because Grady had missed the field goal then. So it's like you come away with no points. So it was just a weird opening to the game. Rutgers went right down the field to start the game. First play, 50 plus explosive run, just sloppy, just defensively, just not sound. And I think guys were just, I don't know, I just think it was bad eyes, honestly. But eventually, I just think it took us a couple quarters to really settle in on that side of the ball. It was really, really big to see Takario back. Um, his presence alone, you can definitely see a difference. Like we love Dylan and he's going to be a stud, but there's a really big difference between good and elite. And you seen Takario out there, he could have easily had 3 interceptions. Just on instincts, the way he played against a bigger body receiver, body positioning, and just the intelligence and the he's been around for so long. Played with that set. And I noticed Ephesians didn't really get tested either. And when he did, he had one of the better pass breakups of the year, which got called for pass interference, which I still couldn't understand. Uh, but yeah, so that was frustrating. But anyway, I think takeaways from the game. Long story short, Damon Williams was a monster unto himself. Over 500 yards of offense, or somewhere right around there. Uh, Defensively, I think we may have found something in the inside of our defense as far as in the trenches. Uh, just seeing the penetration and the violence and the physicality that I've been waiting to see. As far as within the interior of our defensive line, which played and meshed really well with our back end to really cause havoc and to get the QB off rhythm in the second half and the defense really shut stuff down, which was really nice to see because in the beginning I thought we were going to be in for a shootout. So really happy with the outcome, and uh, I saw a lot of positive things that I think will carry over into this week.
Yeah, kind of ditto, man. I just generally think that just the resolve of the team is shining through. And, um, I think somebody just posted that we are like the third youngest team overall in the conference. And to have this type of resolve with a super young team is amazing, not only for this season, the rest of the season, but the foreseeable future, man. There's just something about those Washington teams and those Seattle teams that just have that grit. And they're always like kind of the people's champion, kind of speaking to like the AP polls and those types of things, man. Just kind of being the people's champion, the people that people root for. I kind of engaging with some Ohio State folks, and now they're fans of ours. So that's kind of cool. But then also too, a takeaway as well is just something I've been calling out, which is crazy since the second quarter of the season, and that's just been watching the team adjust. You know what I mean? Like that kind of caught me off guard. I just obviously with the Belichick stuff and the Morel stuff, we kind of saw lack of adjustment throughout the season. And kind of just tried to spend a lot of time fitting square pegs in round holes, and just seeing us kind of adjust our personnel, adjust the other team, especially in the second half. I think we're now outscoring opponents 87-16 in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? And that's phenomenal. Do feel like the defensive line, like you were mentioning, Darker Knight, the defensive line is definitely coming into their own and allowing kind of the linebackers to play fast and sideline to sideline. Linebackers can, they're not really playing on their heels like we kind of saw the first 2-3 weeks of the season. Kind of the box DBs as well, not really playing slow anymore as well. So just kind of seeing that and everything kind of gelling together and everybody kind of playing fast. This was the first game I think we saw. Obviously Devin Bryant is a staple, but we saw some kind of big linebackers, for a while. You had ZRS out there and X-Ray Alexander. So so kind of a refreshing thing there too. So offensively, I think it took about maybe the middle of the second quarter. Maybe I think it was I think what really turned the game was that punt where we got in the second quarter, the first quarter. The second quarter when we got them deep into their position. It kind of slowed down their momentum a little bit. You know what I mean? So I think that was a very important play. They almost blocked it too, but that was a very important play. Ephesians balled out. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I kind of everything that you guys said, 100%. I mean, like you had mentioned too, Darker Knight, the really nice defensive plays that Ephesians made that were called for pass interference, which was extremely frustrating. But linebacker for sure. I agree with you there, Hood. I think ZRS played well in his limited snaps, obviously coming back from injury. And Jed had mentioned in his press conference this week that he expects him to just start playing more and more. And that rotation at linebacker is going to get really, really deep for sure. And then obviously the situation with Jacob Manu and deciding on which of his 4 games he gets to play while they're waiting on that lawsuit, trying to get the 5-for-5 decision. So, I mean, to have Manu and ZRS and X and Devin all kind of rotating in there, it gives you a lot of versatility at linebacker moving forward, especially going into kind of the heart of our schedule and Big Ten travel and that kind of stuff. So really exciting there. Offensively, obviously, we all saw what Damon did and winning the Big Ten Player of the Week and getting, I think he got the Maxwell Player of the Week as well.
Yeah.
So he's getting that national recognition and seeing all these national writers and media personnel talking about how it's a crime that Washington's not ranked. If they were in the SEC, they'd be ranked in the top 10, 5-1 with your only loss against the number 1 team in the country at home is it's cool that national narrative is starting to pick up and we have a chance to go out and play one of the marquee Big Ten teams, even though they lost to USC and they're not ranked anymore. It's still, you're talking about,
that was crazy.
That was crazy, but you're talking about the Big Ten, the 2 biggest names in the traditional Big Ten of Ohio State and Michigan. And we held our own against Ohio State. It was a 1-score game to the fourth quarter. And then we get a chance to go into Ann Arbor and play. So if we can come out victorious this week, we should be ranked, absolutely. But anyway, before we get too far into that, purple helmets for the offense. Oh, you got some? Go ahead.
Okay, I like kind of sort of lost my train of thought in that, but I was gonna say in the middle of the second quarter is when so I was talking about the trenches and so the D line. The middle of the second quarter is when the offensive line got going and got into a rhythm. I think after that that punt and stuff like that. So yeah, so we saw our offensive line kind of get more into like a pass blocking rhythm. See the communication kind of sped up or got more concise or was easier to understand. But yeah, the run blocking didn't really get there, but the pass blocking kind of allowed some lanes for Damon or take off and run as well. So that was the final thing. But purple helmets, I'll go on defense, man. I'll go defense first. I got Ephesians Prysock, man. He's a corner. I love my DBs. He's somebody that I was openly critical of privately, and a little bit on the timeline. And you guys know I'm a man that doesn't mind. If you put in that work, and you show that work ethic, and you play up to our DB standard, then I'm gonna shout you out. On the flip side of that as well. So played a phenomenal game. Whether you call that pass interference or not, I love the fact that he got his eyes around and played the ball. Whether you agree with the call or not. So really, really love what I'm seeing out of him. There was also a PBU against Ian Strong, who I had like a breakout play like 2 years ago on the goal line where, he had inside leverage, had a back pedal, broke on the ball, got a PBU, something that, I'm super excited to see just, the technician element of a 6'4" corner kind of playing. So I got him and also making some physical tackles as well. He had that 4th and 9 stop that got us the ball back as well. And then I'll go offensively. I got to give it to Desmond Roebuck. I don't know this for. Correct me if I'm wrong on this one. I don't know this for a fact. Did he have over 100? I thought he had over 100 in this one.
He was close. I don't know if he got it over or not.
Because it might have been his first one. I hope.
Yeah, he was close. Let me check. I have the.
Yeah, I think he got. I know he's second in the big.
Yeah, team high receiving yards, 108. He crossed.
Come on, man. Yeah, got your first 100-yard game. I think he's second in the Big Ten in receiving yards for a true freshman. 4 yards behind DeCorian Moore, the tie for touchdowns. So we got arguably the best true freshman receiver in the country and in the Big Ten. So super awesome to see him ball out and get his first 100-yard game. On the heels of Damon going crazy too.
Yep.
Yeah. For mine defensively, man, I could go so many different ways here. Was really impressed with Ephesians. I think Bobo being back. I mean, I could add he was the most valuable just because of what we were allowed to do with our scheme with him being back. And him, just a swagger he plays with, and him, whether Ian Strong, whoever it was on his side, just letting them know you ain't getting nothing on this side today. You can just tell he was just excited to be out there and playing again. Another, I would say, honorable mention would be Rashawn Clark and the job he did against DT Sheffield once Leroy got moved off of him and they inserted Rashawn, and how he was able to mirror and take a lot of what they wanted to do away. That really threw a wrench in what they wanted to do and how they wanted to attack. And I just thought his aggressive manner, his patience, and his speed really played a part. But honestly, I'm gonna go Bryce Butler. Just watching him just kind of cause havoc when he was in there. That hustle sack that he had where he chased the quarterback all the way to the sideline, and got credit for a sack. I mean, just the hustle he had to go from one hash to the opposite sideline was really incredible to see. And showing the effort it takes to really be a leader. And just kind of, you have to, if you're on defense, you see a guy hustling like that, he's like, okay, I got to go all out. Because this dude just was on the field, second, third down, and he's going all out to get this play. So I'm going to go Bryce Butler. Offensively, I mean, it's tough not to go with Damon. So I mean, that's low hanging fruit. So I'm gonna say Denzel. Especially, I think just the catch he had in the end zone.
That hands catch.
snagged that
That was
full all hands
nasty.
catch, the
Nasty.
mitten special. The mitten special when he caught it and just held it
Yes.
there. You could frame it, take a picture, put it on a poster.
Come on.
Um,
That's that
just a
Jalen. That's that pole.
that's just so deflating, to a DB when you see a receiver just snatch it and the ball just never moves, and you
Facts.
doing
And the other
everything
one
you
where he
can to
hit
get
him
the
with
ball out.
the other one where he hit
It was
baby.
so.
Oh,
Oh
buddy.
my God, yeah. He's just showing how special he is. But yeah, those would be my guys.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to not go with Demond, but like you said, kind of low hanging fruit on offense. You took my other one, Des Roebuck. You took Denzel. So I mean, I'll go with Jonah, keeping the touchdown streak alive, and continuing with his I think it's nation leading touchdowns on the ground.
Hmm.
Um, he is kind of obviously Demond is now like the star, but I feel like Jonah is still kind of the engine that keeps the offense running. And obviously, Demond's legs become more of a problem when you have to respect a runner like Jonah. So I'll go with him. On defense, I'll kind of go with you on the interior D line, and I've been really liking what Tai Uyunglele has been doing over the last
Hmm.
Yes,
couple of weeks for sure. I gave him my
yes,
purple
sir.
helmet last week, and I'll give it to him again
Mhm.
because I mean he's causing a lot of havoc in there and making things difficult for the opposing offensive lines and quarterbacks and running backs alike. So, and he's been playing pretty well out in
Hmm.
space and sideline to sideline, and made a nice couple of tackles on the perimeter uh, over the last couple of weeks. So I'll go with him again. Um,
Great call.
Anything else on Rutgers?
Um, I definitely got to shout it out, man. X Alexander, being asked to step up and start balled out. He was definitely my second option, my second choice for sure. Yeah, stepping in obviously for Jacob Manu and showing that you're a Big Ten starter as well at a high level. So
I like that.
All right. Well, moving into our big our predictions around the conference this week.
oh Jesus Christ.
Word to Hooligan for clipping out that uh, little rough patch we had last week. But,
Jesus, I'm getting cooked, fish fried.
yeah. Let me pull up
He said
Adrian Broner.
he said, which
I'm getting
please.
cooked.
the standings currently.
Oh,
Our fearless leader who
They're
is not
bad.
with us this evening.
No need to repeat that.
He's at 62-20. I'm behind him there at 60-22, followed by DJ at 58-24, and y'all two boys are both at 56-26.
that's what I'm talking about.
That's passing.
That is passing. That is
We are
true.
a fourth
I
quarter
made
team.
you
We
some
make
money if
halftime
you follow
adjustments.
me.
Make halftime.
Run me
All
my
right.
money.
Well, let's get into the stats here going forward for this week. Or not the stats, but the games. Friday night, October 17th, we've got number 25 Nebraska traveling to Minnesota. Nebraska is an 8.5 point favorite with the over under at 47.5.
I got Nebraska. I got the over, and I don't have him covering. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think they both scored over, high 20s. So
Yeah, I see this game in the low 30s. And yeah, I don't see them covering, but I think Nebraska pulls it off.
Yeah. I have my streak going of not picking Dylan Raiola, Patrick Mahomes light, baby Kermit, whatever you want to call him.
Baby Kermit.
That's Hooligan's name for him, so we'll go with that. But yeah, fuck it. To be different, I'll go Minnesota.
yeah, I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
On my
that.
DJ
That's not a
tip
tough
tonight.
either, too. So I could easily see Minnesota winning that.
All right, we'll skip over the Washington Michigan game because we'll talk about that in depth in a minute. Next game is a 12 p.m. kick on Saturday. Purdue traveling to Northwestern. Northwestern is a 3.5-point favorite, over under again at 47.5.
I only got Northwestern. But I think Purdue might be the better team.
Yeah, I think Northwestern coming off that high of beating Penn State. I think Purdue comes in and upsets. You see, well, Northwestern's the favorite team, right?
Yeah, by
favorite.
3.5. So basically a pick 'em.
Home field.
Yeah, I think Purdue comes in and wins a fairly entertaining mid-level game.
I agree.
Yeah,
This is like
MACtion.
I
would Saturday MACtion in the Big Ten.
MACtion.
You said they're coming off a high, beating Penn State. Can you call that a high anymore? Like,
nope.
I mean, for
Northwestern, I guess
it's Oregon high, so
it's not a spelling bee. So
Oregon's best win is now Northwestern, which is crazy.
Dude, that's wild.
All right. Wild. Moving forward, we've got number 1 Ohio State and a 12:30 kick on CBS going to Camp Randall. They are a 25.5-point favorite with the over/under at 41.5.
Wisconsin gonna need John Randall. Have any sort of chance of this game.
Randall
Cunningham. This game gonna be over by halftime.
They gonna need something.
Give me Ohio State.
Yeah.
The over.
Man,
Ohio State big. They cover the over.
This is. Didn't I tell?
I don't care
you
what camp they're at. Summer camp, day camp.
This is over. This is over.
Alrighty.
Taking everything over.
Yep. Moving on. 12:30 p.m. kick on our favorite network.
Hey.
You've got the fighting Jonathan Smiths in Michigan State traveling to Bloomington to play number 3 Indiana. Indiana is a 27.5-point favorite with the over/under at 52.5.
They're going to East Lansing?
No. Michigan State going to Bloomington.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't got it 27.5. I'll say it's probably like 14 or 17, but definitely Indiana winning. Yeah,
I was going to say Indiana by 17 as well.
Yeah, Jonathan Smith's going to try to slow this game. They're going to try to make this real easy for Aiden Child and not do anything crazy. It's going to be a ball control where they try to eat as much as the clock up because they know that's their only shot is a low-scoring game. But, yeah, I see Indiana winning by 17 plus, and I'd take the over. Yeah.
Now, this is a hilarious line. 4 p.m. Oh, sorry, I skipped one. Hold on. We'll get to that one in a minute. But 3:30 p.m. on Big Ten Network. Number 8, Oregon travels to Piscataway to play the Rutgers. Oregon is a 17.5-point favorite, over/under 59.5. Give me Oregon in a bounce-back game. And Oregon covers. Yeah.
I watch Rutgers up close and personal, and they can't cover a bid, and they can't stop a nosebleed. So, yeah, it's going to be a long game.
Yeah, I got Oregon, too.
All right. Well, now we've got the one that is a hilarious line. 4 p.m. kick on also our favorite network. The 3-3 Penn State Nittany Lions travel to Kinnick Stadium to play Iowa. Iowa is a 2.5-point favorite with the over/under at 40.5.
That's what, 3-4 in a row?
That would be 4, yeah.
Give them 4.
Iowa wins comfortably.
Oh my God! Imagine saying that a month and a half ago.
Yeah. Penn State is inept offensively.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's see. We've got a 4:00 kick on FS1. Maryland Terrapins travel to the Rose Bowl to play UCLA, where UCLA is a 3.5-point favorite with the over/under at 51.5. So basically a pick 'em if you give the 3-point advantage for home field.
So this is like that. This is like Northwestern and Purdue,
Yeah.
but a little better version of it,
Yeah.
So this
Mhm.
is MACtion.
The plus version.
Yeah.
This is the Mountain West now.
This is the Mountain West, though.
It's going back
Sorry.
around. Mountain West.
But yeah,
Oh,
because
man.
I like Maryland. I want to take Maryland super bad. But he says in Pasadena.
It's in Pasadena. Yeah.
I'll take UCLA. I want HBC UCLA to win this one.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I think Maryland, they have the potential to put up some points, but I just think UCLA's dialed in, especially I think the biggest turn they've made is defensively.
Yeah.
They're dialed in on that scheme right now, where they limit big plays and they just allow their front to just kind of go hunt. So I think while Malik Washington's going to put up decent numbers, I just think they're going to cause hell all throughout the game. So give me UCLA to pull away late.
Yeah. And they've got some motion now with Nico and Jerry Neuheisel getting on the same page. It's funny now that they've kind of turned it around. That game in Pasadena in November's looking a little more
Daunting.
interesting.
Mhm.
That's for sure.
Yep.
All right. Well, outside of our game, this is the biggest game for our conference this week. The 4:30 p.m. on NBC and Peacock. Number 20 USC travels to Notre Dame to play number 13 Notre Dame, where the Fighting Irish are a 9.5 point favorite with the over/under at 61.5.
This is gonna be like the Texas A&M Notre Dame game. I'm taking the over. I definitely think Notre Dame wins. I think I was gonna say a little bit more efficient on offense, but that's not really the truth. I think I just more so trust their offense to be efficient in a big game. So I'm gonna take Notre Dame, and I think they've also have a little bit more of a physical identity than USC right now. So
Yeah.
I'll take Notre Dame in this, even though I would want USC to win. I got Notre Dame.
Yeah, I see this game playing out a lot like the Illinois USC game, where it's limited explosives, but you see the bulk of chunk plays kind of from both teams. But I just think Notre Dame's a little different in the trenches than even USC saw against Michigan. Although I think that was a good precursor for Michigan to or for USC to play Michigan prior to Notre Dame. But I just think that run game's just different, and their defensive line is different too. So I think it just comes down to the trenches at the end of the day, and Notre Dame wins and covers.
Yep. I agree. I don't know if Notre Dame covers. I would have Notre Dame by maybe 4 or 6 points, but I do think it's the over. But Notre Dame wins. Then we got our bonus. What's that?
I think it's going to be a very, very good game, though.
Oh, for sure. For our bonus game slate this week out of the conference, we've got first up. Here, let me pull up these lines so I make sure I get it right. We have a 12:30 kick on ABC. Number 5 Ole Miss traveling to Athens to play number 9 Georgia, where Georgia is a 7.5 point favorite with the over/under at 54.5.
It's a lot of points. There's a lot of points, kind of. I got Georgia. Yeah, I got Georgia. I don't know what it is about Lane Kiffin. I don't know if it's about him joking and his persona and his trolling, but I don't know. I take it as like you're just a perennially unserious team when it matters. Just that hallmark 9-3 kind of squad that beats the team it's supposed to beat and loses to the teams it's supposed to lose to. So I got Georgia, and obviously an explosive game. So I got Georgia. Let's hope. Let's hope.
Go ahead.
Let's hope Damon can jump Chambliss this weekend.
Oh, there you go.
Man.
Eyes on the top.
Two heavily flawed teams, Georgia and Ole Miss. I think the Wazoo game for Ole Miss, that was their trap game. They were looking ahead to this week, and they didn't take Wazoo serious, which led that game to be a lot more uncomfortable than they wanted. But Georgia, I've seen them play down the competition, and I've seen them kind of rise to the occasion as well. So, yeah, I just think it's going to be a turnover fest on Ole Miss's side. Georgia at home.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm taking the dogs at home.
Yeah, I would echo all of that. I think that Lane, like you said, Hood, is perennially unserious, and when it matters, it's gonna show up. I will say that there is kind of a chance that they want to come out and prove that Wazoo game was kind of a fluke situation and not really who they are. But I don't see them going into Athens and winning against Kirby. So give me the dogs as well. Beyond that, we have I mixed it up again. Another 4:30 kick on ABC. Number 11 Tennessee travels to Tuscaloosa to play number 6 Alabama, where Alabama is a 7.5 point favorite with the over under at 59.5.
Mm. Mm.
That's a good game, dude.
Give me,
Yeah,
yeah,
the SEC
yeah.
slate is pretty nasty this week.
I think you're gonna pick who I think you're gonna pick. Let me see.
I'll go first. Give
Yeah,
me Bama.
go ahead.
Give me
Okay.
Bama.
Ooh,
I
yep.
I don't think they cover. Give me Bama by 6, and I'll take the under.
What
I
you think,
need
Hood?
narratives. I need narratives,
I
man.
need narrative.
So, who's arguably top 3 Heisman candidate right now? Ty Simpson. So I need narratives. I need Tennessee to win. I need Ty Simpson to have a bad game. So
Throw some picks.
I
I
got
need him to have a bad game. It's
it's in
crazy.
Tuscaloosa too, right? So
Yep.
it's a trap
Hmm.
takeover.
Yep.
Yep. I got Tennessee walking in there and taking over Alabama's trap. I got hot seat heaven, talks this week again, even though they ain't gonna do nothing. But hot seat heaven talks again this week. But I got the Volunteers, man, walking in that trap, taking it over.
Yeah, Josh Heupel just knows how to play against Alabama, man. I I I just trust that Joey Aguilar is going to make enough plays. I think it's going to be a shootout, but I think Tennessee pulls off the upset in Tuscaloosa.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right.
Yeah, I think Bama's starting like Dijon Lee now or something because
Yeah, they're going to need
Imani
Dijon
Jones
Mustard.
don't want. They're gonna need it all.
Mhm.
They're gonna need Lee and Carter.
All right.
They are all of them.
Last bonus game this week is the Holy War. Number
Ooh,
23
yeah.
Utah going to BYU, where Utah is a 3.5 point favorite. Over under at 48.5.
I got the over. I got Utah spanking BYU.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the tone is they're gonna set a real big tone. After what you did to ASU, I'm like bet. All right, like your team's locked in. You're on a championship run. One thing Whittingham knows how to do is win them regular season games. Yeah, I got Utah.
Yeah, give me Utah. I think they cover easily. Utah by 2 touchdowns at least.
Yeah, give me the Utes.
All right. Well, that'll do it for our picks. Now let's get into it. What are we seeing against Michigan? What do we want to see?
Uh, offensively, I mean, I would love to see us start fast, especially on the road. I just think it's always self inflicted wounds when we don't start fast. It's never like okay, that was just great defense. It's always just something we've done. So to allow Demond to get in the rhythm, especially on the road, don't ball in his hands to just take it over. At the start of the game, like allow your running game to kind of get in the flow. Because I think although Demond's been doing well, I think it's kind of hurt Jonah not being able to get in the rhythm and kind of get a feel for the game. Like he's averaging, I think, like 13 to 15 touches a game, which we would thought that he would, that'd be ramped up, especially in Big Ten play. So I think we're gonna need a big game out of Jonah, just to add more balance to the offense and not rely on Demond's legs, especially that he got hit kind of banged up against Rutgers. We'll
Hmm.
see to the extent of how bad that injury is. He went to the medical tent, briefly came out, but the next few snaps was just him taking a knee. So we'll see if the ball's kind of spinning funny, or he's not as accurate as he is. We'll kind of see if that shoulder is bothering him. So let's take some off his plate. Defensively, I want to see our the trenches take another step. Um, I think Ty Ty and the boys have a good chance, to really make a name for themselves. Michigan did not impress me in the interior against USC, so I think we have a chance to really make a name for ourselves and kind of hold the running game, to allow our corners to play man to man against a receiving core where I would like our guys over theirs, across the board. So yeah, we just need a complete game on both sides of the ball. Defensively, just everyone make tackles. Everyone, when you're in space, you have a chance to squeeze gaps and set an edge for 60 minutes, please. That's all I need. Set an edge for 60 minutes. Play physicality. Play on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage, and I think we'll be fine.
I would say now we're now we're in that stretch where I think I was saying that the two of the last three away games we need to win, if we're trying to think about any type of real postseason CFP opportunities. And one of
Hmm.
those games was and it's one that I had marked off and felt like it was a loss simply because of last year's 0-6 on the road and 0-7 in general away from our stadium. But seeing the road woes, be overcome in Maryland, having a deficit of 20, and just kind of seeing the general resolve of the team at home versus Rutgers. I do feel like the road woes won't be the issue here. I think one of the bigger things is going to be is Justice Haynes playing. That's going to be a big thing. Their offense significantly sputtered. I think it was Kelly. You might know how to say his last name, but Kuzdal or Bryson Kuzdal or whatever is now their running back too, behind Jordan Marshall. So
Hmm.
he's a guy that could surprise us with his skill set due to the fact that he doesn't have a ton of carries. But if you continue to use that penny front, that 5 down front, you're going to stop this. You're going to stop this running attack, and then it's going to be screens and outside run. Or sorry, outside passes and short passes, and it gives these DBs opportunities to come downhill and make plays. So I'm looking for a lot of turnovers for our defense. Like the Darker Knight said, this should be an opportunity for our D line to feast and eat, especially early on when they're trying to establish the run, and then later on. We don't have a ton of pass rushers, but at the end of the day, they're disruptive. So this is like a Bryce Butler game, that interior pass rusher that's going to, potentially get to the quarterback, especially in the second half. And then offensively, I saw USC, I saw their offensive line get to the second level often, it didn't take, I'm not going to use the word talent, but it didn't take heralded player to dominate them in the running game. It was a walk-on that went crazy against them after their starter went down. So as long as we're able to attack them in the screen game, I think like Dark and I mentioned, the outside run, because I do think their defensive tackles are stout. They're big, strong, and stout, but they're not mobile. So if you attack the outside, we're a heavy zone running team, inside and outside zone. I would like to see some gap stuff. Just to kind of get outside and kind of have the offensive lineman moving some counters and type things. So, that's what I like to see, man. And then also too, attack their linebackers in coverage. Like their linebackers really can't cover well, and I see a lot of openings for tight ends across the middle. So, that's kind of that. I saw especially in the second half, an adjustment was. They were really selling out on the first down run. Rutgers was. So I saw in the fourth quarter, Jed started to mix it up. In the red zone, he ran like the little jet sweep cross to Chris Lawson, right to get us into the red zone. I believe he ran like a RPO flat route to Quentin Moore instead of running right at the defense on first down. So I think the variation on offense is going to drive them. This game can get out of hand real fast. So.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree as far as attacking them with that screen game, the RPO game. One thing that I did see and was talking to some other friends about was the defensive backs for Michigan, matching up against Denzel Boston, and even guys like Omari Evans and Desmond Roebuck. I think there's going to be a big opportunity for our guys to eat. Going to get some one-on-one coverage, obviously, and Hooligan had mentioned in one of our chats earlier this week that Wink likes to send some pressure more than any of the other defensive coordinators of the other teams that we've seen so far this year. So something that we can definitely take advantage of if we can mitigate that pass rush and give our guys some opportunities in the pass game, especially Denzel. One-on-one, we saw what he could do with his touchdown last week against Rutgers or 2 touchdowns against Rutgers last week. So hopefully we get that opportunity as well. Defensively, again, I think that Tai and Bryce are going to have a huge opportunity in this game. So I guess we can move into a big or bold predictions. Big predictions was the game picks, but
no, I was just gonna.
you got something?
Sorry, no, JCap. I was just gonna add. Yeah, so we're on offense. Like, where's Waldo would be focusing on Jay Barham. He was their middle. He was a linebacker. Started at Maryland. Transferred to Michigan last year. Started in the middle, but now he's on the edge. Highly disruptive player. He's got good size. He's about 6'3", like 245. Twitchy. There's definitely, I can see Wink lining him up against Max and kind of making him prove that he can recover and have a better outing than he had against Rutgers. So just keep an eye on that. And also, when he does like to send pressure, he usually sends it away from Jayshon's side because he kind of almost anticipates him getting in the backfield. So it's going to put a lot of pressure on the tackles to, be stout. I'm not really worried about the interior because although their defensive line, as Hood mentioned, is stout, they're not going to beat you off the ball with quickness or anything like that. And so I'm curious how they're going to have to play Damon. But I think a lot of design runs, and as Hood alluded to, like getting to the edges is going to be key. So what we could do is run right at Jayshon because that's been working for teams. Just you go back and look at the UCLA game. A lot of guys who are twitchy or natural pass rushers, they don't do so well when you're going right at them. So that should be the key. So we're going to need a huge lift, especially from our left side of the line this week, to really move the ball and be effective.
One thing that I'll definitely see there happening is Jonah Coleman and Adam Muhammad having a huge role in that for sure, as well as Quentin Moore. I can easily see us allocating somebody else to go ahead and help over there, and primarily because you trust your whatever trio of receivers are on the field to work whatever 5 DBs or 4 DBs are on the field. I think Wink Martindale was running heavy 5-2-4 versus Lincoln Riley. You know what I mean? So they still got ran on, and they still got passed on. It allowed the receivers to get open all the time too. So if he makes that mistake with us running that as his what seemed like his primary set, it's gonna be a long day for them. I think the matchup is just tough.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like you just sent me this link here, some stats that came from who is this? Brian Buckeye Stats at Brian C. Walton 78. Washington pass offense number 3 in completion percentage, number 10 in pass plays over 20 yards or more. Michigan pass defense number 119 in opposing completion percentage, and number 86 in opposing pass plays allowed 20 or more yards. So, I mean, it's the opportunities are there, and our strength is going into their weakness. And if we can make sure that Damon can stay clean enough to have the opportunity to make those plays, then there should be no reason why we can't put up some numbers against these guys for sure.
The key is just starting fast. Michigan's offense is not built to play from behind. So you start fast, you put up points, you force them to do something they don't want to do.
It's a
you
blowout.
essentially take the running game out of the equation, and now you
Yep.
just force Bryce Underwood to be a pocket passer.
Yep.
Yep.
And I mean, that has kind of been an issue for the last few games. Ohio State, Maryland, and Rutgers, those slow starts, and a lot of them have been issues with. Again, I mentioned it on the last show, the pre-snap penalties and
Yep.
execution and all that kind of stuff on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, we move the ball well, get down into the high red zone and into the red zone, and then something happens, whether it's a holding call or false start, illegal formations, and those kinds of things that kind of stall out your drives and um, kill your momentum and put you behind the sticks and uh, just want to see less of that and was hoping to see
Hmm.
that get cleaned up a lot against Rutgers, but obviously still had some issues there. And then also another thing is our punt team have had some struggles for sure.
Mhm.
Um, we still, I think,
Mhm.
we either are just under or just hit 10 punts on the season in the Rutgers game. So I mean, they haven't had a lot of opportunities, which is great, but we need to execute on them better. We can't be giving teams short fields. So Rutgers
Hmm.
had a drive that started on the plus 32, which is unacceptable from a field position standpoint. So that's one thing that I definitely want to see get cleaned up, as well as the offensive penalties for sure. All right, moving into bold predictions for this game, gentlemen. What do you got?
Offensively, I will say that this will be the game where Raiden Vines Bright has the conversation that Desmond has right now. I think after 2 or 3 weeks of this, teams are gonna know who Desmond Roebuck is, and I think
Hmm.
Michigan's gonna probably do a solid job of making his catches probably super short. I think he averaged like 18 yards a carry. So making his catches more at the sticks, like snag type routes and tackling him. And I think RVB is going to be there for like the big flood concept hits, with moving the pocket or a lot of these, RPO glances or a lot of these screen plays. So I think RVB is going to have five. I would say, let me get bold prediction. I'd say 5+ catches. And
Mm.
yeah, 5+ catches for RVB. Defensively, I will say that this is a game that we will have 4 sacks. And I think they all come from people that weigh over 280.
Mm.
Dang.
Get them hogs loose now.
I think that interior pressure is really going to cause a lot of things and really spill a lot of things. And I think it's going to lead to the majority of the turnovers we have. So I think we're going to get some interceptions on the outside, maybe some tip balls over the middle. We've been doing a lot of tip passes lately. I need to really shout out Deshaun Lynch.
Yeah.
I don't know how we went this far without a shot. Lynch, but definitely, I think we're going to have some tip ball type turnovers, some one-on-one highlights for the corners, and then some potential D-line pressures to get those forced turnovers. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think offensively, especially looking at the USC game, I think it's a big opportunity for Decker de Graaf to break out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm predicting he's going to have 80 plus yards receiving and at least one touchdown
Mm-hmm.
as a security blanket. I also think he'll have upwards of 6 or 7 catches in this game because they do not do a good job of covering the middle of the field. If you know Wink's weakness in that defense is he's all about the perimeter and he leaves the middle of the field wide open. Um, and defensively, as Hood alluded to, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for turnovers, especially with a QB who could be erratic with the ball. Um, everything Bryce throws right now is a fastball, and he doesn't really have a
Yeah.
changeup as far as his intermediate passing. I think that's where he can find himself in trouble, and he does tend to stare down receivers. So give me +2 interceptions by the defense. I think both corners end up getting a pick. So give me one by Takario and give me one by Ephesians as well.
Nice. Nice. Um, Kind of similar to what you guys had there. I'm predicting 10 plus receptions by the tight end position, whether it's Q
Come
Moore
on,
or Decker.
Husky. I like that.
Um, so yeah, I'll go with that. Like you said, that they're going to have a big opportunity as a security blanket in this game. And then on defense, I will say that we get 2+ turnovers from different or two different types of turnovers, interceptions and fumbles, fumble
Mhm.
recovery. So we'll get one of each at least.
I like it. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I
Moving
think we all
into
think
go ahead.
they're going to force turnovers, man. We all think this is the game for that, which is
Yeah.
super exciting. And I think what's super funny is on offense, we're trying so hard to avoid giving it to the trio. Uh, you know what I mean? We're trying so hard.
Yeah.
This is a game. This is a game where it is going to be freaking Denzel Boston
It's a
versus
star-studded
whoever.
game for sure.
This is a highlight game. This is a game where it's like it doesn't matter who the personnel is. It's still the Michigan logo, and this is what they're going to show on the NFL draft highlights, regardless, right? So
Mhm.
this is the game where they're probably going to feature the top three guys. You know, what I mean, Jair Hill got cooked last year all game, so it's going to be barbecue chicken alert this game too. So
I think
Right.
every corner now knows when they play against Denzel, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do against him. So, I mean, it doesn't
yep,
matter. You can think like he's not going to outrun me. That's cool. He's going to just grab the ball over your head. Like in the red zone, I think Jets getting now players over plays. And he was much more decisive with what he called in that second half of the game. And I think it started to click like, okay, I don't need to be as cute down here. Like, let me just get the ball in these guys' hands or put them in position to score. Like the fade ball to Denzel, how he drew it up, like it wasn't anything, it wasn't anything, fancy. It was just like I remember he missed on one, and Denzel literally looked at him like throw it again. What I mean? It's just you just use your weapons, man. Like you don't gotta make it fancy. You don't need like rubber outs or anything like that. If you got a stud, give it to the stud. Find a way to give it to him. That's it. So
Yep. Yep. For sure. And I mean, it's one of those things where you are expecting the the big three to do the things that they can do, and I'm hoping that Demond can facilitate and then get the ball to the guys that are open and not try to force the ball if it's not there. He's usually really smart with the ball, so I don't anticipate that being a problem. But if they are trying to highlight a guy for certain things, being able to continue to make the right decisions and get the ball to the other guys. And I mean, it feels like they were kind of manufacturing touches for some of the young guys in the Rutgers
mhm.
game. They gave Chris two jet sweep passes, and give him two easy receptions, and getting the other guys involved intentionally. So
he
yeah,
looks very.
definitely. Yeah.
Chris's body very. He looks like a whole different
Mhm.
athlete than his first little jet sweeps earlier this year. I'll tell you that.
Mhm.
hmm hmm For sure. So I mean, it's going to be exciting to see all these guys get involved. But yeah, we've been kind of trying to give the bold predictions and purple helmets to not the not the big three guys, because it's all off season. We heard about the trio on offense that we have. So getting the other guys some love for sure. But all right, moving into the last thing we have on the docket: score predictions. What do you guys think?
What's the over under?
Shoot, I had it. Let's find it again. It is so Michigan's a 6.5 point favorite, over under 50.5.
Ooh. I think it's gonna be right around there. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna take the under slightly. I think it's a game, all throughout, um, but just one where you just kind of see stops from the defense. I don't think it's going to be a lot of lulls offensively. Or hope, at least I hope not. But I do think that we have enough to come away with. This is going to be the biggest road win in the Jet Fish tenure. So I have the dogs pulling out a win on the road, 27-23, at the big house.
Yeah. I got I got 30-21.
Mm.
I definitely feel like we're gonna have a decent amount of successful possessions. But I do think some of them will kind of end, in like field goals and things like that. I think this is one of those stack a bunch of yards in the 20s. I think this game's going to resemble last year in Piscataway, where we kind of dominate in between the 20s. We win the game, but I feel like we score, but I feel like we're going to be like, damn, that game could have been like 45-17 or something. Like, I think it's going to feel like it was a much bigger game than it was, but the score is going to be relatively close, and they even might be down by one possession in the fourth quarter, but it feels like a blowout. So, yeah, winning by 11.
Yeah, we're all kind of right in the same ballpark. I had it at 28-21 Washington. I do think that we can convert. I think that we'll score. I'm hoping that they're all touchdowns, but yeah, you were 1 point or half a point under Darker Knight, and then you're half a point over Hood, so we're all kind of right in that spot. But and then I'll be a point and a half under. But yeah, it's going to be a good one for sure, and I'm interested to see how the team comes out. I mean, Jed was talking about in his press conference about how he's been getting some tips and tricks and pointers from Mike McDonald and the travel aspect of things, and making sure the guys are ready. Traveling a day earlier, so we'll see how they come out. I'm really hoping that they can come out, and even if they don't score a touchdown on the opening drive, at least a field goal or something to be able to get some momentum early instead of getting behind multiple scores like they have the last couple of weeks. So yeah, overall I'm expecting a good game, hopefully a clean game. That's for sure. These penalties, but yeah. Any final thoughts on Michigan this week?
Yeah, just curious. Just to ask you guys one kind of final question: is there, looking at both teams and just kind of examining more Washington as we've been able to do through 6 games? What do you see being what could potentially be our downfall in this game, and or what would you like to see us overcome that's been holding us back?
I think that's tough. I think a downfall would be like if Justin Haynes plays, it's allowing his explosives to go for touchdowns. I think I heard Izzo say that we were 16th in the country, giving up like 3.1 yards per carry. I heard the broadcast versus Rutgers say that we were one of the top teams in the country at not allowing 40-yard plays. You could also look at the Rutgers game and say after that 54-yard run, they averaged like under 3 yards to carry. So like, I would say like, it would be really like it's a strength, it seems like, but it does seem like in the first quarter we do allow those big type of explosive plays in the running game, and that's called 8. So as long as we can kind of not allow those explosives in the early portion of the game to go for touchdowns, I think we're good. So I think that's like very particular and specific. So I don't think there's really much that Michigan really has like to match. I think you watch them struggle versus a very light version of what they're going to see in Nebraska, and it was a close game. Then you see a little bit more advanced version in USC, and it was not a close game. And now you see a very similar version of what USC had, you add the element of a dynamic quarterback, and you're probably going to get something similar. You know what I mean? So I don't think if there is any type of downfall, it'd be like the explosive run if Justice Haynes plays. But if he doesn't, man, I don't think they offer anything on offense, man, to be able to score 14.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And I mean, you're talking about the yards per carry and what we're allowing. I was just looking at Justice Haynes, and he's 95 for 705. He's averaging 7.4 with a 75-yard long. So I mean, you're right. If we can keep those explosives down early and not allow them to score points off of them, and then that would definitely bode well for us. But for me, I've kind of talked about it a couple different ways already tonight. Is the execution on offense? I mean, it's been a Jed thing for a while. Is
Great.
um, moving the ball between the 20s pretty freely,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a
Great
theme
call.
last year where we outgained our opponents. We until the I think it was the Indiana game, we had outscored or outgained every opponent to that point, and then somehow lost most of the or not most of those, but a lot of those games. So if there's going to be anything that we have to overcome, it's going to be our own lack of execution, our own lack of focus on the
Great
offensive
call.
line, not being on the same page. So I mean, the only thing, like Michigan is a good team, and it's a good environment, it's a great stadium, all that stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
the only way that I see us not coming out of there with a win is if we get in our own way, whether it's the players or Jed getting a little. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Tricky with the play calling, which has tended to happen a little bit too, especially in the red zone. So yeah, I think execution and play calling in the red zone is going to be the thing that we'll have to overcome, especially seeing how it's been going over the last 3 games, especially earlier in the game. So yeah, I would say that.
JCap, that is a phenomenal point.
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree with that. That's a great point.
One I'd add to that is Ryan Walters. He came out a while back and said, everyone has to evolve, even me.
Yep.
You
Yep.
what is deep at the play calling. So I'm curious how he's going to adapt to Michigan because they can get pass happy at times. And I've noticed that they really try to feed Andrew Marsh and put him in the slot. So I think it's going to come down to him or Rashawn Clark a lot, especially on money downs on third. Got to have it. Um, you know, can we guess right? How aggressive does he want to be? Just in extra guys, knowing that okay, we're playing against a quarterback now where if he gets outside the pocket, he can hurt you with his legs. Not to the extent of a Demond, but he's definitely a dual threat quarterback. So just curious, with Ryan Walters, what he tries to employ, how he wants to use the guys on defense on those third and longs or third and manageables, and seeing if he's learned from his mistakes, and trust the guys more to not only generate a pass rush, but to hold up on the back end and kind of allow them to continue to marry together as well as they did in the second half against Rutgers.
The last thing I'll say is what I did kind of notice. I felt like I had a trend to notice that I felt like Jed was spamming first down in the first half, and then the fourth quarter he started to mix it up. And I got to go watch it again and double check and see if that's something that's actually true. But like me, just kind of remember back, I do remember that it felt like they were stopping Jonah successfully early because they only ran on first down. And he was getting like 3-4 yards. It wasn't anything explosive, but it put him in 2nd and 5 and 2nd and 7. So it was like solid situations. The run was effective. But I'm super curious about that portion to see how effective the running game can be, and if we can mix up first down with some kind of pass type RPO type things to the flat to these tight ends, or some kind of short pass play. So yeah, mixing up first down run.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up for our Michigan preview. We'll see y'all next week, and maybe we have a little guest on for a little game recap. But until next week, go Dogs.
Go Dogs,
Go Dogs,
baby.
baby.
Yeah, sure.